KooPaKREW. Can I drop a referral, bro?
Yeah.
You got a link to Cole's channel in the description.
I will. I'll link to Cole's channel. I'll link to your channel. I'll link to anyone's channel.
Just support a friend, dog.
Yeah. I'll link to Cole's card shop, where he sells the Misty.
Not the Misty, dog.
Again.
What was the other one?
I don't know. Rose? Okay, honestly, some of these packs, I don't know if they will,
Oh my god, the way you fucking open those is actually giving me disgusting... Dude.
What?
You're not opening them with scissors every single time, dog.
Yeah, I am. I am opening them with scissors every single time.
You know the card trick?
Yeah. One to the front. And look at shiny.
Are you streaming?
Yeah, I am streaming right now.
Oh, hey guys. Trunkynugget here.
My dumbass spent $1,500 on Pokemon cards.
We're gonna see where this goes. Hopefully somewhere good. If it doesn't, I'm
ending it.
Oh, that's what we call a Marowak Hollow, boys.
Oh, sick.
Dude, I'm gonna start pulling up the Pokedex.
This one values at $50.
I'm gonna start reading off the Pokedex entries. So Drifloon ties around a string around kids' wrists in Sinnoh and takes them away.
Come on, you fucking pack.
Yeah, if you didn't open
people,
them like a...
People start scanning the codes.
Quick,
Creig. Where's Tyler?
Take them all.
Tyler's better come in here and snipe them. Oh, dude, can you
go slower? Go quicker?
Can you zoom in a little bit?
Is this good? Gloom.
I don't know. What do the viewers think?
Big trio.
What do you think, chat?
What do you think, chat?
Do you think this is good?
Is it good? Is it a thumbs up?
Oh,
are you leaving a like on this stream or leaving a down
vote?
The
second pack, you already got a tangle. You got a full. Is that a full art?
Yeah, this is full art. Oh, it's not. It just. Oh, look at this. This great quality.
Okay, hold on. Read that. We gotta read that Pokédex entry.
Oh, and I got Vaporeon. One of the most breedable characters in Pokemon.
How did you get a holo and a full art? What is this?
So the art rare, so the AR, takes a reverse holo slot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, let's. I can't wait to cut one of these wrong.
Like that before.
I can't wait to cut one of these wrong, and it's the Charizard I cut halfway through.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's gonna be fucking awesome when you do that.
Bro.
I'll auction it off. I'll be like, who wants this? I'll sign it.
I actually see a lot of card opening people use, like, scissors, and it freaks me out. I feel like one day someone is gonna just saw through the card.
Oh, Snorlax! Oh my god!
Oh, he's back, baby! He's back!
Marowak is back.
Is that a reverse holo?
It is! Reverse holo!
Add that one to the collection.
He's about to give you the bone, bro. He's gonna send you to the bone zone.
Wait, this next card. Do you see it? Do you see it?
Oh, there's something special here, folks.
It's an EX Blastoise. It's a Blastoise EX.
Rip it in half.
And we got the Blastoise EX. Am I wrong, or is that the card you were looking for?
No, I'm looking for the Blastoise full art.
Oh, but it's the same card.
Yeah, it's a Blastoise EX.
I was gonna say that is definitely not the card he's looking for.
No.
I thought I remembered him saying he was looking for a Blastoise. I don't know, man.
I am. But not that one.
I just work here.
This is why you get paid.
All right, guys, we gotta start gambling for the energies. We gotta start like trying to guess which ones are which. Next pack's a fire energy. I know it.
Fire.
Okay, that art goes hard.
Can we set up a?
Kind of true.
Can we set up a?
Craig, you know that's a
An
crying
over and
that's
under
gonna
on
turn
it?
to annihilate.
Oh, reverse hollow. Oh, egg. Oh,
Oh my
He's
god,
back!
dude, we're getting so
He's back
dude,
for more, baby!
dude.
we're getting so
Marowak's
lucky
gonna
with the fucking.
send you
Wait.
to the bone zone.
Wait, he was reverse hollow. Now he's hollow.
Well, you already got one of that exact card in the first pack.
When do I just
Is there
like
any
give in and just start cutting packs half?
Is there any reason that you went for the
It was Psychic.
151 set?
I went for the 151 because I'm old. I'm dying. I remember
this
the
dude's
OG.
He's a Gen 1er, that's
I
why.
remember Mankey and Meowth and Execute
Oh, you remember Execute?
and Charmeleon.
That's actually sick art.
Oh, I don't remember this. Oh, Cloyster.
Oh,
Oh, wait.
and coming in with the Venonat reverse hollow? Ain't no way,
Oh,
bruh.
Oh,
I thought it was
Psyduck.
dude, that's such a sick
Yo,
one, dude.
the
Psyduck.
Psyduck stairway. Why are you getting so many good cards? This is not normal.
That's it. I'm calling Pokemon. I'm reporting you.
Okay, I'm
These
starting to feel
packs
like
are
these
not
are
weighted.
these are repacked.
I have okay, so these cards that I'm pulling out, these are like the ones that I was concerned that were like weighted or that they were like repacked, by the way.
I mean, if you're getting these kind of pulls, then they're not. Unless they're weighted to give you better cards, which I feel like is an interesting business strategy.
Wait, what's the energy? Anyone?
I'm saying
It's
grass.
fire.
I'll say water. Grass.
How much if I get it right?
I'll give you
$100?
a box full of Pokemon cards.
The rest of the cards go to me, and I have to string the rest.
Yeah. Fire. Oh.
Cole actually
that's
got
right.
it. That's crazy.
I'll give you. Wait. Do you think we'll get anything good from this though?
Oh, the 3D Magnemite.
Caterpie.
Iconic.
Eevee.
Boys, are we getting a full art? Are
Grimmer?
we getting a hollow?
Oh. Graveler. Protective goggles. Lapras. Already have this one. Oh.
Full art Alakazam?
Yeah, full art.
Yeah, that's a full art.
It's like one of the cheapest full arts, or like
Yeah, the full art EXs are.
Well, what are the full
Are
arts that you
kinda
actually
nice.
want?
It's the SARs, so the secret art rares.
yeah,
Is that like the Psyduck one that he pulled?
yeah. It's like the
That is an
Psyduck.
art rare,
Oh, okay.
but the
Oh, but
secret art rares
Secret
are
ones
like
are past the card limit, right? Like
yes,
it'll be like 170 out of 150, and
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
It's shiny, guys.
Wow, that's so epic.
So epic.
Oh,
Weedle.
I saw something at the back there.
It could be something bad though. Zubat.
That is true.
It's
Goldeen.
probably gonna be
Goldeen.
Blastoise
Nidoran.
EX.
No. This
Non-full art.
is
Nidoqueen can breed with a Ditto, by the way.
Oh,
I brewed with this.
the Nidoqueen fandom is dying, guys.
After
a
this,
like
I
if
Fusion
you-
leaks, bro.
Leave a like if you're a true Nidoqueen pounder.
Oh, that's sick. I remember that guy.
Dude, listen, bro. What is Pokemon up to, dude? They put what is that? Electro Ball, and what was the other move on that guy's thing?
Bang boom chain.
Dude,
What is this bootleg?
they're acting like this motherfucker's using anything but self-destruct.
Yeah.
Guys, if you play the Pokemon online card game, please do not take these code cards.
Yeah, I'm gonna check these out later.
Guys, I'm scanning these as I'm pulling them out. Oh, I got another shiny
You got
energy.
the app pulled up, just out of frame.
Yeah. Whenever I go like
see.
this, I'm scanning it.
It's like a whatnot streamer, like pulling the hit out of the pack when he sells someone the pack. the grabber,
Oh,
Kingler,
Kingler. Energy,
Energy sticker.
energy sticker. Oh, Pidgeot.
Ooh, that's a cool one.
Oh. I would have laughed if that was another
Oh.
Pidgeot.
okay.
Wait.
Oh, it's.
Oh.
Wait, that actually looks sick.
It does.
I like that. You're getting a lot of
All right,
hollows.
next pack.
You get a
Well,
hollow in almost every pack.
You're
but
guaranteed
you're
a hollow in
guaranteed a
a pack in every
hollow.
pack.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're guaranteed
Last time
like
Craig opened a fucking Pokemon booster pack was $19.99.
No, I have been out of the Pokemon collecting industry for years now.
when
Is that with every new pack?
yeah.
Yeah,
The guaranteed hollow?
since Scarlet and Violet. Yeah.
When I open
Wow.
up the Pokemon Go ones, I think
Okay, they're definitely not. They're nothing interesting then, I guess.
when I open up the Pokemon Go packs on stream, I got like a Articuno and like a lot of other ones, and I was like, holy shit, is this good?
I mean, just
Okay, the
because the
real question
Pokemon's
is-
legendary doesn't mean the card is rare.
Okay. I get it. I'm old.
when we sift through this like clip farmers, can we just clip the code cards and just make one YouTube short filled with all 1,000 code cards?
I mean, they'd all
Like,
be
no
used
other
up.
content.
Yeah.
You know, there's some fiend online who's literally searching
Yes, dude.
who's
Yeah.
searching like up videos of pack openings uploaded in the past hour to snipe
No,
like
no, no, no.
0 view YouTube videos with
It
codes.
gets
Yeah.
worse than that, bro. There's probably people sitting in the basement, bro. They spent like $2,000 on a bot algorithm to automatically notify them when a video uploads with the perfect width and length of a code card.
And just auto scan the code.
Auto scan the code into their account. Energy.
Oh my
Let's
god.
go. Sandro.
I actually do
true.
want to check now after this
Seal?
stream. Just check a
How many
random
are
code card and
usable?
see if it was actually usable or not. Like I don't play this, so I'm not gonna use all of them, but I do kind of want to check one. Just see.
No, you should. You
They
should
should
let
change
it
this card to Giovanni's Riz.
actually.
True.
Tangela.
Oh, Vaporeon again.
Oh no.
Skibbity Giovanni.
Not to make this political, but
sorry to bring politics into the chat, guys.
but what do we think about slacking in Typhlosion?
I mean, neither of them are Gen 1 Pokemon, so we don't have to worry
Dude,
about it
all I'm
today.
gonna say
Yeah.
is there's never been a better time to be a Feraligatr fan.
Oh, dude, Meganium fans stay winning.
Oh, shiny.
They're the first dub the Meganium fans have ever taken.
Has ever gone until the new Mega comes out, bro. Once they
Okay,
get a Mega, it'll be. A dub.
They can't make Mega Meganium out of the fact that Mega is in his name and it sounds stupid.
They're
literally
never gonna
can't
give
do it.
Typhlosion a Mega now.
Magikarp.
Bloom.
The
Bloom?
Typhlosion Pierre.
Wait.
Oh, what's
Oh
this?
my god, it's a Vileplume EX.
Oh,
no.
Venusaur. EX.
Dude, I
What do you
like
think
to
of
have
a
pulling
Venusaur?
ultra rares. Like just
Like,
as a Pokemon.
or as
Or as Sammy would say, like as a person.
Well, the grass poison type gang, if you're comparing like Vileplume to Venusaur, bro, like Venusaur is the OG. Because what, he only becomes Vileplume is Oddish just a grass type or is Oddish grass poison?
They're all
poison,
grass
right?
poison, but he loses poison if he evolves into Blossom.
Yeah, but no one's evolving that bitch into Blossom.
It's the classic story of like granting an evolution in Gen 2 for no reason because it's just worse. Like
Dude,
why did
I'm pretty
they even do Politoed, Blossom, Slowking?
Okay,
Like it's so
don't
weird.
no. Don't shit on my boy Politoed, one of the greatest Pokemon evolutions. He's
Bro,
not in the same
they
class as
handed that guy. That guy was dying in the the emergency room, and they had to hand him Drizzle just to keep him alive.
Bro. Yo, making my boy competitive by giving him Drizzle is a new type of level from Game Freak, from the Freakazoids. Don't hate a man with drizzle. Hate a man with drought.
Where my Torkoal gang at?
This was the first pack I opened without scissors, by the way.
Oh my god, you got a
oh
rare
my god!
card.
Oh my god!
It's
I got
Articuno.
dude. Can we get a can we get a check on
Okay,
this?
That's a
keeping it real,
confirmed
though,
rare
the
card.
Zapdos. The Zapdos. Wait, let me get a price check.
Yeah, I got a price
It's
check on
literally.
this.
I just checked it. It's literally $5,000.
Just rip it.
All right. It is 69 cents. We're getting $1,000 back slowly but surely.
Add an extra like 5 to that. 500.
We're getting we're getting 1,500
Okay, I
back.
think the
slowly but
sheer
surely.
weight of the amount of packs we're opening here hasn't set in for me yet.
No.
Wait till we're an hour in and we're talking about Pokemon conspiracy theories with Hypno and fucking Mischievous.
What about
wait till we're an hour in and we've got our 13th Hollow Marowak. We're still popping off every time.
Dude, well, you gotta get hyped for Marowak.
Yeah.
See, the shitty thing about this
Did you-
set is that it is only 151 cards. So you see the same cards like every
50
pack.
times.
Yeah. We should have consulted with Chris beforehand and like told him which ones to buy.
Okay, dude.
I don't know,
Coming
this 151 one just seems like if you're gonna spend $1,500 on cards, would it really? Is this really the one?
I can't believe you're done. Okay, I'll get Shrouded Fable next time.
I think next time you get Shrouded Fable, but spend $3,000 just to up yourself.
Just up it. Okay.
Yeah.
Every donation that comes in through the stream is going to the Shrouded Fable. Oh, Blastoise! Oh!
Oh, there it is!
Oh.
That's what we're looking for, baby!
No, it's not. Close.
It's not?
No. We're looking for the
What are
one
you
where
looking
he's.
for?
We're looking for the one where he's like underwater. He's like, I am under the water. I cannot breathe.
Oh, is that what the SAR that he was talking about?
Yeah, it's like $70.
Oh. I mean, even the $70 does not put a dent
lucky
into.
I was in the kitchen when you guys were talking fucking about that Shrouded Fable bullshit.
What do you mean?
What is Shrouded? Is that even worse? I don't know what it is.
Shrouded Fable is one of the worst Pokemon sets to be released.
Okay, what's the best recent one then?
Shrouded Fable. So you can...
Oh, really?
It's
This was the
151
one
or
to
Twilight
go with?
Masquerade.
See, Twilight Masquerade sounds cool. I would buy it just based off the name.
Gyarados!
Gyarados Reverse Hollow!
Oh! Untamed one! Hyper Beam!
Gyarados is only good because it has Waterfall.
Okay, dude.
Oh, the Bang Boom Chain guy again. Goddamn. Is that a real move? No way.
Yeah,
It's not. I
It
mean,
does 20 plus.
maybe it's one of those Let's Go Pikachu, like, bootleg, like, 25 moves that Pikachu
No,
could
it's
learn.
only dude, it's only a Pokemon card move, and the only Pokemon card that has it is Electrode.
Yeah, it's fake, dude. Somebody just made that up,
Dude,
like, in
Game
their
Freak's
13th hour at work, and they're just like, come on, man, I just need a name. I don't know, Bang Boom Chain.
The editor's doing a translation on a Japanese version. It says self-destruct, and the guy says, "Fuck that! I want Bang Boom Chain." Girl.
Oh, Muck. Drowsy.
Can we talk about how Muck's move is called Sticky Jail? I don't know how I feel about that.
You got a problem with Sticky Jail?
What's Muck's Pokedex entry?
Does it have it on here?
His Pokedex entry is
Come.
Yeah, literally.
Come on, this
In
is
the
a
latest
family-friendly
game,
stream, buddy.
in the latest game,
No, it's not.
it's so stinky.
What?
What?
In Violet,
Really?
this is Violet. So it's so stinky. Muck's body contains toxic elements, and any plant will wilt when it passes. And Scarlet it's thickly covered with a filthy, vile sludge. It is so toxic, even its footprints can contain poison.
What the fuck?
And then we look at like the original one, dude, and look at how far it's derived. Like from Muck's body seeps a foul fluid that gives off a nose-bendingly horrible stench. Just one drop of this Pokemon's body fluid can turn a pool of stagnant and rancid.
You know there's people out there who still would.
Oh,
Oh my
dude,
god.
I think we know people who would.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say
True.
names, but
Oh, the Violet Plume.
Oh. Wait, can I just say something? Wait, I gotta find it. This dude is just like peeking through windows.
Muck is my worst, hear me out.
God, all these repacked cards are so easy to open.
You're only trolling yourself, dude.
Okay. Goldine. Wait.
What?
Oh, what?
He's so
Look
big.
how fucking fat that
He's so fat and floppy, dude.
expanding body? Friend tackle?
Yo, wait. He has 350 HP if you have the special energy.
What the fuck?
That's actually cool. Like, he can survive any attack.
I don't even know how
how much
Pokemon.
HP does he have?
250.
So he has 250,
base.
but his ability was, if he has a special energy attached, he has plus 100 max HP.
So actually, if there is a Charizard EX Dark Terror type on the field, with one prize card remaining, actually does 460. So actually, he can't survive our attack.
That's why I have Cole here. Keep
All
me
right,
in check.
nerd. Get out of here.
Can you not bully the person that I specifically hired to come here?
I'm being
Wait,
paid for
you're
this. Are
getting
you?
paid for this?
Yeah.
He's getting a box
I-
of Pokemon cards.
I'm just here for the love of the game, dude.
Machamp? Wait. Okay, no. Wait.
Why is
No.
he around Dark type?
No comment.
Is that some sort of Terra type thing? Because that makes no sense.
No, it's not. There's just no normal type in the game.
He's not normal though. He's poison. And
Oh, there's
usually
no poison type either.
poison is represented by psychic because it's purple usually. Am I wrong?
I think they go by weaknesses.
I mean, I guess his weakness would be like ground, which would be fighting energy in Pokemon. So that kind of makes sense, but it's weird.
It is, dude. There's some that are really weird.
Hitmonlee? Mr. Mime?
Oh, that art is sick. I love Mr. Mime.
All right. Do you guys think Mr. Mime did that to Ash's mom?
Yeah, I know that about that.
Here's the thing: all those leaks came out about Diflosion and stuff. Mr. Mime, there's no way Mr. Mime was spared. Mr. Mime is like the Diddy of Pokemon, dude. You know.
I'd say more like the Morgan Freeman, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Where we know it happened, but we just ignore it because he's famous.
I'll be right back.
Oh my god. Guys, you switch your card out. Now he pulls the Charizard. No
We
one's
only
gonna
have a
believe
few more packs left, guys.
him. This is the true gambling addict's dream when they say one more.
Okay, I'm back.
So wait, how long do we actually think Brick Bronze lasting?
What?
I mean, it feels like it took a while for them to take it down the first time. And like, am I wrong, or when you tried it, like it was literally the same as I remember
It
it?
was the same game, just with like newer models
Except
that look kind of bad.
except they added like the new Pokemon.
Yeah, that's a
Oh,
fake
that's
pack.
sick
This
art,
is
by
a-
the way.
No,
That
this is
is
a fake
awesome.
pack.
Okay, this is fake.
Yeah, that's not a real card. Chris put that in there when he pulled it off screen.
Actually,
Dude.
yeah.
Yeah, tear it up right now.
Tear it up.
What, is that the card that you would have been looking for, Cole?
Uh-oh.
If you see me leave and then
Charmander
come
is
back.
expensive though. That card's $70.
Wait, what?
The Charmander?
Well, Canadian. $70 Canadian.
Oh my god.
It's like 50 USD.
Okay, wait, so if I send it to you, you'll sell for a higher price? And then you'll send me
Yeah, well,
70?
yeah, and I'll send you $70 Canadian.
Oh shit. Oh shit, cuh.
How was that movie last night, by the way? Was it good?
Yeah, it was.
It actually was good.
What the fuck? Can we read the wait. Pull that back. What is with the made up moves in this set?
Super
Okay,
Cycle.
this guy's just like
Okay, the
super
Butterfree.
cyborg. Now
The
let's go into the
Butterfree one was
Butterfree.
unhinged. Bye Bye Flight, I think is what it was called.
Was it?
What? And the description on it is like some sort of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, like
card
actually 10 lines.
description.
Choose your opponent's bench Pokemon, shuffle that Pokemon and all attached cards into their deck, and then shuffle this Pokemon and all attached cards into your deck. If your opponent has no bench Pokemon, this attack does nothing. Awesome.
Oh, Jack's here.
I mean, why would you not have a bench Pokemon?
Yeah. Guys, Jack is in the stream.
Scyther.
He's
Hi,
in the
Jack.
chat?
Yeah, he's in
Oh,
chat.
hold on. Let me pull up the chat. I haven't had it opened.
You can see in the bottom right of the Discord stream.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're good.
My camera wouldn't work if I was using OBS, so I just had to share my screen or share like a preview.
Like 2K, 3K.
What are we thinking on this one?
What energy?
This is this is electric energy.
That's a dark energy right there.
Dark energy? Oh.
Ooh.
Oh. Shiny too. A pack counter?
The pack counters are me and Craig.
How many packs have we had?
Like at least 1,000. Right?
Probably close.
Krabby.
Krabby, wait.
Oh, there's something here.
Oh! I actually really do like this Pokemon. Do you want to do?
Okay.
Yeah.
A quick little interruption here. Back in 2002, there was a Japanese promo that was going around where you could mail Pokemon headquarters your card, and they would send you back a card. However, they were only taking specific cards like Machokes, Kadabras, Gravelers, and stuff. So you would ship them like your Golem, like your Graveler card,
Oh,
and
for
they
like
would
a
ship
trade
you back
evolution.
a Golem. And those promos are really expensive nowadays.
That's interesting.
But
I've never heard of
that's so
that.
cool. Like that is such a cool thing to do.
I mean, that just seems like a lot of work.
Oh yeah,
I understand why they would never do that
again.
again. Like, I remember hearing that the way events used to work in like Gen 1 for the Pokemon games was you'd literally send them your cartridge and they would like ROM hack it basically to have the Mew on it or whatever.
Wait, what?
And it would just show up in your box.
He's actually repacking them for the next stream.
Yeah. We've opened 23 packs out of like the 180. And we would
There's 180 packs.
Yeah.
Okay,
Craig,
even
it's
like
not
50.
about the distance, but it's about the friends you made along the way.
Oh yeah, I'm in for the long haul here. I'm excited.
Yeah.
We're gonna get something crazy here.
Dude, let's not do a foil check because we've pulled nothing yet. Except a cool Charmander. Show them Charmander.
I'll
Oh,
do.
yeah, that was awesome.
Should I show like the full art? We'll do like a full art check at like pack 25.
Honestly, you should put the full arts like in front of you, where there's a whole bunch of open space.
That is good. Wait, I gotta have it for the
scripters.
Sure yeah, I gotta make sure the scripters have the code card.
We support the scripters out here.
Yeah, big scripting.
Let me pull up 151 really quick. I'm gonna have the price sheet up.
Poliwhirl? Bill?
Holy shit. The full art Charizard, not even the secret rare one is $50 US. That's crazy. People love Charizard a little too much, dog.
Well, the full art Blastoise must be worth a little bit too, then, right?
No, he's 17.
Oh.
He's like half the price.
Yeah.
I mean, still, that's more than the price of a pack. Like a pack's only like $5.
No, not for 151.
Oh, are they more expensive?
Packs are like $9 US.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they're really expensive.
Yeah. I think it's 50.
Over here, they're like $16 a pack.
Yeah. I think for the booster bundles, it was.
There's a reason I stopped collecting.
Oh, I got him again!
Oh, he's back!
Oh,
he's back to give us the Rock Blaster.
We're gonna get a playset, dog.
Hey. Let me devalue all these cards right now.
That's crazy looking at all the ones you've opened so far. You literally have like 2 starter sets already of cards.
And
starter decks.
Pull out the Blastoise. What are we doing here?
Throw the Blastoise out?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Anything full art and more, we're pulling out.
Okay, full art or more.
So there's what is it? A Psyduck and Tengua, if I remember correctly.
I may have to do another.
Oh, and Alakazam. Hell yeah.
Oh, Psyduck.
So what's the thing with Kadabra? They are legally not allowed to make Kadabra cards anymore, right?
They are. They are. That's why this set came out. They were waiting for that to be lifted.
Oh, that's cool.
Because
I remember it was like 20 years that
that's
they
it,
couldn't.
Chris.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah, for 20 years they couldn't because the guy who made Abracadabra, bro, got mad.
Okay, let me get rid of all
it's all because of Dark Kadabra.
Dude, back then is the equivalent of people bashing on lunch lead today, bro. Like just bashing on something to bash on something. I see that's getting recalled.
Oh really? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Get out and get your lunchlies now, guys. Get your moldy lunchly. You can sell it for.
Get your moldy lunchly.
No, I believe the cases are probably like pretty low comparatively, but it is something worth saying that like you advertise that the cheese is real cheese, which is good, but the reason that they put all these preservatives and make it like so processed is so it won't mold. Like that's literally the reason. So it can have a longer shelf life.
Do you think we're going at a good rate for full arts?
No, we are absolutely not. Well, actually, right now, what are we like? 20 packs deep? 20 packs deep?
20, are we?
We're at 26 with this one.
Okay, so them being like $8 a piece, times 26. About $200 worth. We have about $100 worth of cards. So we're actually not doing half bad. We just need, honestly, we've hit quite a dry streak without a secret rare. So we need a secret rare to revitalize this stream. Or a god pack. A god pack would be sick as fuck.
What is that?
A god pack will have, instead of the regular pack, it'll have the whole trio in the pack of full arts.
Whoa. Maybe we're gonna see it.
Maybe.
It's like one in every 4,000 packs.
Still, we have a lot of packs, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking
Technically, like a
packs here.
10% chance, I guess.
Oh, Psyduck.
Psyduck.
Oh, Beedrill.
Isn't it crazy that Psyduck could like actually like cause a massive accident if he just thinks too hard?
It's just like
That's a great design choice.
the one guy from X-Men, Professor X.
Psyduck is based off of
Psyduck is
X,
Professor
imagine.
X.
Wait, what? Energy? Oh, Jinx!
Oh.
Oh, shit.
All right, all the Gooners are coming out for this one.
Oh, shit, cut.
Gen 1 Jinx be like.
I actually can't believe they they did
Dude,
that. Just like
how did
the
that-
Jinx
how did that
design
get-
in general, man.
Yeah. I will be selling mystery packs after this. to
Yeah, we'll be
recoup.
selling mystery packs with everything that's been packed except the good cards.
Yeah. You'll get at least one foil and reverse foil card. We got Come Again.
Oh, Daisy.
Oh, Daisy. Oh, War Turtle. Oh, Jolteon.
How many gold cards are in this set? Or are there any?
I'm pretty sure that there are.
We're looking for a gold card. We're looking for a god pack.
We're looking
I
for-
have high hopes for the stream, guys.
That Licky Tongue art goes crazy.
Actually.
Cycling Road brings back memories.
Pidgeot.
Rapidash.
Rapidash. Mr. Mime.
Second Mr. Mime. Honestly, I'm starting to get pissed off on the dry streak of Marowak.
Yeah, actually. Can we bring my boy back? They don't even have self-destruct on Voltorb. Wow. Muck. Oh, Gengar. Wait. Oh, okay.
What?
I didn't hear anyone, so I had to check Discord.
Yeah, Yeah,
I
we were
mean,
keeping
yeah,
quiet for
sorry.
the
There's just no good polls, man.
Yeah, actually.
Honestly, what are we supposed
Like
to say,
it gets
Chris?
to a point where, like, the commons and uncommons, we've already seen all of them, so there's nothing to really say.
We gotta start. We
That
gotta
is
start
true.
speeding this up.
Speeding it up.
Speedrun.
Dog shit.
Oh,
Don't speed through that, dude. That's sick.
Oh, okay.
let's get a price check on that really
Oh,
quick.
price check, drag.
Somebody pull up the
Dragon
live price check.
That is
Let's
a
check it.
$25 card.
I bought all these cards from Walmart. All repack cards.
No, he got them from the Dollar General down the street. They were $1 each.
I did see a guy on Reddit. He was like, I bought a bunch of. He had like boxes of like, I think it's like the starter Pokemon where it comes with the poster. And he just had boxes of them. He's like, I found it at the dollar store.
I've seen
Oh,
I've seen some
no.
some people who don't really know what they're doing opening cards on YouTube, and they'll be like,
Yeah, like me.
I found these cool like these cheap ones that come in like 3-card packs or like 5-card packs,
The trick
and
or
it's
trade
like
ones.
and it literally says like there's a guaranteed rare in each pack that's amazing. And like such a value, and it's like, bro, do they know?
Yeah.
How do
I
you,
just feel
dude? I
bad
don't think
because you're never gonna get anything out of those because they're repacked, right? Like
the
it
trick or
has to.
trade
Oh.
packs are really bad.
Oh, the
He
card that
got
I
it!
won.
He
Oh,
got it!
that's actually
got
it.
That's
Wait, that's
actually it.
that's like the
That is
$70
it.
one.
Yeah, this is the one that I
That is
was
it.
actually looking for.
No
That
way.
is $75.
I got my boy. I can now burn the rest
Hey,
of
now
these
we can-
packs.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could just chuck the rest out. Honestly,
Yeah,
Should
let's
What
let's just go
the
through.
rest of like the 150 remaining packs can just go to the trash heap.
Yeah.
oh, that's so sick.
Oh my
All right,
god.
now we really need to start speeding through these. We got like fucking 200 of these left.
We're at the
Yeah.
point where we're gonna get like another Blastoise and just
We're
be like, ah, this is lame.
Yeah, we're
We're
gonna
gonna be on our 5th Blastoise full art,
Oh.
secret rare.
I mean, the $70 card is pretty good. We're really hoping for a couple Charizards, 1 or 2 Charizards.
1 or 2. I was thinking about 5 or 10.
I mean, they're $200 each, so
Is that the most valuable card in the set?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, by far.
Okay.
The second most expensive is that Blastoise.
Sick.
Oh, Venusaur.
That's being clipped. That Blastoise pull is being clipped.
Somebody clip that. Somebody in
clip
chat.
this-
I should have dropped the KOOPAKREW.
Someone clip it and chip it.
KOOPAKREW, move out. We got pack openings.
What's up, my Goomblings?
Oh
my God!
Yo!
Oh, Venusaur.
Is that
Another
the- is that the
75
SAR?
card. Yeah, it is. It is. Now we're just missing the Charizard, dude. This is actually like really good.
It is.
We went from like,
This
man,
is
these
really good
pulls
so
suck
far.
to 2 packs later.
Yeah.
These pulls are crazy, bro.
These polls are insane.
You know what these pulls are making me want to do, dude? These pulls are making me want to play Pokemon Brick Bronze on Roblox.com// referral. I don't even know my referral link.
I'll put it in the description.
And whatever you do, spend Robux.
Yeah, buy
Yes.
as much dude.
Buy
Did you ever see the
thousands.
clip? Did you guys ever see the clip where I Show Speed spends $300,000 worth of Robux on someone's item? Like it's a T-shirt that says like "I'm poor," and it's
Yeah.
300,000 real dollars.
What?
Yeah.
Bro, that guy's life is just set. Like,
19
What?
million Robux.
that guy
And
woke
you
up
can
every day being like, man, I hope somebody bought my shirt. And one day it
you
actually
can
happened.
convert. You can convert. Robux to real money. You can.
Yeah, I mean that's why all these people do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we should just go join like there's like servers that are called like Donate Me or something like that.
I'll need it
Okay,
after
nobody
buying all
actually gets
these.
any money out of those.
Why don't we just start our own?
Yeah, can we get a donation thing going? If we hit a certain donation link, he'll buy a case of Pokemon XY Evolution and open it.
We're at the end of the day, we're all doing this for chat, the viewers.
Yeah, we're all doing this for.
We want to
people.
create the best experience that we can, and if that experience requires us to spend all of your money on more packs, that's a
At
sacrifice
the
we're
end of the
willing to make.
stream, guys, because we love the viewers so much, at the end of the stream, we're gonna be giving away every single Marowak card we pull.
No, I needed some for my master set.
All right, we're keeping 2.
I mean, we've
Wait,
only
are you
got
doing
2.
reverse? Or wait. Are you doing just a master set of all the Pokemon, or are you doing like the foil master set where you get like all the reverse foils, all the regular foils, all the regular, or are you just gonna go for Pokemon?
I mean, he's not gonna get all of them in this stream. He would have to buy so much more.
Yeah, and do you know who can fund that? You, the viewer.
We got any pay pigs in the chat?
Wait. We got anyone that wants to do a simple donation? I'm trying to. I have so much shit on my desk.
Just a small loan.
I have an ungodly amount of just straight up garbage.
You know, when I did a huge opening of 2,000 One Piece packs, I literally had. Oh, that's a super sweet card.
That's one that I was looking at. I remember that one. That one's awesome. Wait, the Mew as well.
I just remember the mountain of garbage. So a lot of the so that card is a $15 card. The really good thing about the art rares of this set, there's not really any that are worth less than $10, except like 3 of them, like Tangela, Mr. Mime, and Ammonite.
Why don't people like Mr. Mime?
Creig.
Listen to yourself out loud there. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Ever since the iconic Mr. Rhyme came out, Mr. Mime's popularity has surged. I don't know what you're talking about.
Honestly, people have been catching Mr. Mimes left and right to evolve them into Mr. Rhyme. Dude, what the fucking design team? Dude, that pisses me off.
You ever think about just like how many Pokemon deserve an evolution? How many cool Pokemon?
Mr. Mime was not one of them.
How many cool Pokemon just got power scaled out that would be so sick to have back in, and they decided Mr. Rhyme was the play?
Yeah, that seems pretty sick to me.
Guys, let's play the energy game again on the next pack, but for everyone who has to get it wrong, we have to leak our social insurance numbers.
No. That can't happen again to me.
Every prediction you get wrong, one number comes out.
At some point, you're just going to see an avalanche of packs. Okay, do we want to guess the energy?
Fire.
Electric.
Water. Dark.
146707835.
I'm gonna keep that the entirety of that in.
Somebody clip that.
Someone clip that. Yeah, put that on your shorts channel.
Yeah. What do you mean? My shorts
my
channel?
address too. Credit card number.
Yes, can we have every single key detail? Oh, Mewtwo! We're almost done.
Just don't show the open
Almost
box
done?
anymore. Just keep
Really?
it closed.
Yeah. We'll be almost done in like another like 2-3 hours.
Honestly, dude, that thumbnail that you cooked up for the VOD,
Oh, that's
like
not for the
gonna
VOD.
do numbers.
That's not for the. I may do like a supercut, or I may just take this VOD and upload it as is, or
A supercut might be the best.
I'm
Also,
probably
leave
gonna
the
use the
clip
first.
in of us talking about which thumbnail to use and whether to...
Did we? We didn't talk about that. Did we
Let's
talk
talk
about
about
it?
it
Let's talk about it now. Where it's my dumbass bought $1,500 worth of cards, or I spent.
thumbnail. Like, you're actually gonna go viral. Humble brag, but
Humble brag. Humble brag. Will the YouTube
we're
video
actually gonna hit it big with this one, guys. Humble brag, but I think we're gonna get 10 million views.
10 million views? I doubt that. I gotta like clean up some of these cards. I gotta start a fire
Dude,
soon in my house.
I feel like you gotta handle these a little bit better. You're just raw dogging them.
There goes all the value. Don't worry, all these cards are gonna go to a nice Venezuelan family.
I don't think that's true.
I think it's going in the trash.
I'm gonna
No.
call you out on that. And if you don't send it to a Venezuelan family, I'm gonna expose you, and your channel is done.
No. No, don't. This is all I have to live for. I need to get rid of this fucking trash. Okay. I do have a coffee on my desk, so one wrong move and I could ruin all of
One
these.
wrong move and we have no pulls. We're on the reset counter.
Do you want to guess the energy? Anyone?
Electric.
That's
Fire.
a psychic right there.
Dude.
It's
Leaf.
leaf. It's leaf. Oh! Oh!
Oh!
Oh!
Yo!
I think this is like only like $5.
Yeah, it is. It's $4.
That looks cool though. Wait, why is that so cheap?
Because it's so common.
I mean, you got a bunch of other sick full arts before that one. It doesn't seem that common.
Can we get a stat check on that?
Somebody run the numbers.
Someone run the numbers quick.
Come on, somebody quickly run.
Only 3 more packs after this one. And then we move on to the other half of the box.
Bro is not even bothering to do the card trick anymore.
Yeah.
He's just ripping through it.
Well, you told me I had to fucking go like 200 miles an hour.
Honestly, I think you need to go slower and savor every last minute of content from this. Yeah, there you go. This is the right tempo. This is what the viewers are looking for. Chat, what do you think? At this rate, we'll be done within about 10 hours. So hopefully you guys can stick around.
Oh, we got cum.
Bro, alright, bro, you're going to sticky jail for that one.
Fuck yeah. Wait, no.
Oh, that's actually cool.
Oh. When we saw that card earlier, I was like, ooh, that's nice art. Some of the cards have like really nice art on them. Even the ones that aren't like the full arts.
Yeah, man. Somebody put their heart and soul into every single card.
And I can't wait to burn every single card after the stream.
Yeah,
So
let's
excited.
go. That's so awesome. That Mewtwo art goes hard.
Yeah. We're not getting much of anything, guys. Okay. Oh, Jinx! Again! I'm just gonna do this.
Oh yeah, Electrode's back.
Give me that bang boom.
Boost.
What is it called?
Bang, boom, chain.
What is the chain part? That doesn't even make sense.
Because it's a chain attack.
I still don't get it, dude.
Okay. Not a real Pokemon fan. Oh! Look!
The Marowak is back! The Bone Zone is back, baby!
We got him back, baby!
Alright.
What?
All Marowak proceeds are going to the local charity.
We're gonna be auctioning off every single one. For $50 a piece.
That's a steal, dude. I'd pay $50 for a Marowak.
And then
I would.
I'll individually bend each card before shipping them out.
And tear the corners off.
Yeah. I'll just bite the corners a bit, nibble on them. Nibble on all the corners.
Get it graded. Get the world's first 0.0 grade.
Come on.
Wow, we
The
haven't
mimes are back.
hit
need a
shit in a
Charizard ASAP.
while. Oh,
Another Marowak. Love to see it.
another one? Grimer? Oh! Why am I doing that? I'll only know how to open up Pokemon cards for the next 3 days. We already got this one.
Double Jinx. So we really need a Charizard to make our value here.
Yeah, we need more than one Charizard.
I think we need like 8 Charizards to make our money back. You think we can hit it?
No,
Maybe.
we have so many packs left. Wait.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's back, baby!
The double blast. Can we get a Blastoise counter?
3.
2.
We have 3 total. 2 of the full art.
I mean, dude, we're doing pretty good right now. That's we have $350 for the cards. If we pull a Charizard, we're almost halfway there.
Oh, Psyduck
Another
again.
Psyduck.
Cool.
Oh, I got another
Another
legendary Articuno. Oh god, all the hollows are toppling over.
All right, next pack you gotta open it with one hand.
One hand.
All right, let's get the all the clip farmers get out. Here we go. It's gonna be really funny clip like GC. I show speed.
I can't. I'm trying to open it with my teeth. Okay. I'll redo that one. I'll redo open it with one hand.
For every $50 donation, we are going to be doing a one-handed / bite open pack. So get your donos in now, guys. This is going to be huge.
Wait. So here's a pack. Completely unopened.
Yeah, yeah.
In a hand. I can't wait to choose this fucking Charizard.
This stream is gonna help pay for Chris's dental bills after he cracks it too.
There.
Mangled it. Holy.
Charizard isn't here. Completely ruined.
Okay, this is super off topic, but I went traveling today out of town a little bit, and we found this cafe place. Now, these cafes, dude, I swear, dude, they're so expensive, unbelievably expensive for the food items. Like $16 for a grilled cheese, bro. That looks like it was made at McDonald's.
What the?
But they had this thing called a croffle. It was a croissant waffle, dude, and I swear to God, that shit was the best thing I've ever eaten. That shit was gas, no brakes. Fax, no printer.
I'm not a huge fan of croissant
Croissant?
myself.
You mean a croissant?
All right, just appropriate my culture like that, dude.
You're not even French. You're not even French, dude.
I can speak French.
Do it.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Bonjourno. I'm losing hope.
For Charizard?
Getting anything good. I only have dog
Yeah,
shit.
You've already got so much good. You've got so much good.
Oh!
Whoa,
Oh!
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Oh!
wait. No. Go look at the last card of that pack.
Yeah, it was Bill.
Got that pack again. What the hell?
We got double Bills.
The Bills transfer.
Yeah. Oh my God! Wait.
Bill transferred in his transfer.
Wait. Was this a God pack?
No, I think that was a dollar pack.
That was a lukewarm pack, actually.
Let's get some hype in the chat for the Bills transfer, guys. Like, this is crazy.
I need some. Can we get some TikTok likes, some YouTube subscriptions, and some Instagram shares for that Bills transfer?
We need more likes.
This is a certified Bills transfer moment on the stream.
If we reach 500,000 likes, I'll put my entire life savings into my next Pokemon opening of Shrouded Fables.
I fucking hate you.
Just think, it's up to you guys. And I'll make Cole watch the entire thing.
It's like torture. Honestly, every time we speed up, we get something good. So I think it's time to speed up, Chris. How are your fingers feeling so far?
They're bleeding.
You're only like a quarter of the way through, so.
Okay, all these are dog shit, dude.
Oh!
Ekans! Or Ebok. Arbok.
Ebok! Alright, we can't let that one slide.
What do you mean? I said Arbok.
Do you guys know Arbok is snake backwards?
I never really thought about that.
Can we get a fact check on that?
It's actually Cobra.
That's like
Oh,
saying
really?
muck is cum.
We're really out here pulling out the 2008 jokes.
Creig, dude, come on, we're running dry here, man. We talked about all the conversation topics we talked about beforehand. We talked about fucking
Yeah, and then
Typhlosion, Slowking, Vaporeon, Jinx, Nidoqueen. Like, there's no other breedable Pokemon.
Any Vaporeons in chat?
That's honestly old news.
yeah. I can't feel my fingers.
Only 130 more packs.
Oh,
How
oh.
far? Wait, how far are we right now, Chris? Can we get a pack count of what's left? Like, how many packs are left?
Can I? I'm gonna open up this last one, and then I
Open
will
the
do a pack
box.
count. Let me open up the stack. Let me speed run this, and then I'll do a pack count.
There's gotta be a Charizard in here somewhere.
Oh, Dragonite. Too bad it's shit.
I always forget they added Dragon as a type. I already feel it. There's a full art in this one.
Yeah, there's a full
Craig,
art.
what the fuck, man?
Yeah, like what the actual fuck, dude? There could have been a full art, but no.
That's because you guys weren't believing like I was.
Do you want me to get the next pack a sloppy little kiss?
Hold on.
I thought Articuno was rare. It's a legendary Pokemon, guys, but I keep getting it. I think the Zapdos full art is actually really good too.
We should retitle this Boomer Opens Pokemon Cards.
Okay.
This guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm getting.
dude, that's actually crazy, dude. Double Venusaur, double Blastoise, no fucking Charizard yet.
Is it any rarer though?
No, statistically no.
Like it's weird that just based off of people meat riding Charizard that the card skyrockets in value even though the rarity isn't any higher.
Yeah. I got another Venusaur. Okay. So we got one, two, three.
There's so
four,
fucking many
5,
left, dog.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. I'm saying that there's probably like 70.
That
You
is
know, man.
unbelievable.
I think there's actually like 80.
I'm actually so hungry right now that I'm watching like food challenge videos.
My
On the
wife
side
and
of the
kids
screen.
need me right now, but this is more important. I'm staying till
Dude,
the end.
I'm here till the end, dude. Listen, all I'm
We
saying
only got
is if I
70
get
more.
ditched, all I'm saying is if I get ditched at the end of the stream and there's no Brick Bronze gameplay, I will be upset.
There won't be.
There will be, but I think Chris should join as well.
Chris definitely should.
I don't even know.
Also, you should message Tyler.
For what?
Like, would he come on?
Yeah, I'll
For that?
message him.
I feel like this is like a momentous occasion.
Yeah.
For any in the chat who aren't aware, they brought back Pokemon Brick Bronze, which was a Roblox Pokemon game that was taken down due to copyright issues. It's back.
It is, and it's Pokemon. It's actual Pokemon.
And it's updated with the new Gen 9 as well.
The new gen.
The only thing I have a problem with is I'm pretty sure like the numbers are not correct. Like the damage numbers are not right.
What, really?
It just felt off when I was like doing the rival. I didn't play a lot, to be fair.
I didn't play
Maybe
any of
EV
it,
just
so
has
I
a
don't know.
crazy fucking special defense stat.
I need to get rid of these.
I'll look into it.
Wait.
I actually love that Venusaur. Can I have one, Chris?
How much?
You got two.
Yeah,
Who
send
knows?
me one as well.
Dude.
Who knows? I may have 5 more after this.
But yet probably not a single Charizard.
Yeah, probably not a single Charizard, dude.
We need at least one, dog.
I'm getting someone spamming chat. Can I get Blastoise? No.
Who is
No,
this
dude, that's
freak in
mine.
chat spamming?
Yeah, come on, man.
That is not cool, dude. What is this, a porn bot?
I think this might be a porn bot, guys.
Get him out of here.
Oh, and he just
Mods!
doxed you. And he
Mods!
just doxed you.
Let's see. I gotta clean up this.
See, how is this fair? How is he supposed to be like, I don't want anyone saying my name, but then start saying people's names?
I mean, to be honest, we've all said each other's names already.
Yeah, we've
By
all
mistake.
doxed each other.
I've said it. I've said his name as well.
Craig, sorry, Chris, we need to do a mega pack.
A mega pack?
Yeah, so what we're gonna do for the rest of these packs, don't take the code card off the back.
Yeah.
Take the bottom 3 cards. No, don't look at them. Flip them over. Take the bottom 3 cards, put them aside.
Wait, isn't this the energy though? The top one?
Oh yeah. Take the energy out. And then bottom 2 cards. Bottom 2 cards.
Bottom 2? Why not bottom 3?
Because the first one is never anything.
Okay.
Put them aside, and then just throw those to the side. And then we're gonna do that for the rest of these packs on this table.
What did we get? Just get dog.
The code cards are being given away to me.
Yep. I'm mailing
Also,
all the.
spell fiend right.
I'm sending all the code cards to.
We got some
Cole.
dyslexic in the chat or something. Here.
Okay.
What is
can
this?
you stop making fun of my people, dude? Oh my god, you're right. All these are shit. Here's the thing.
It's
What
gonna
if
be really awesome that we do all this work and it's all just fucking reverse hollows.
It's you get 5 Marowaks.
what if one of them is just a god pack?
Hidden channels suck. Yeah, well, that's because we don't want everyone joining.
Yeah.
Dude, this is a stream.
Yeah, it's a stream.
This is a stream, bro.
I only left it for people.
You know how many of the right ghost streams have been ruined by people randomly joining
Randomly joining.
and not knowing they're on stream? Like all of them. We're just putting some cautionary measures in, you know?
Oh, Dragonair.
Also, Tyler, you need to get into the stream. You need to know Surskit's base stat total. And if you don't know that, then I'm sorry.
If you know.
Bro, this guy's in here saying that Surskit's base stat total is higher than like Groudon.
Bro, you're close. It's 269. It's the funny number.
You have
You
to
know what?
know.
Let's not even stop here, Chris. Let's just keep doing it for the rest of the pack.
No, I don't think that's a good idea.
Just an hour of opening with like no fucking. Like...
Yeah, it's just an hour of like nothing happening.
Nothing happened.
Organizing
I'm
packs
glad
so
we
that
started.
they,
I'm glad we started 2 hours early because you know
Yeah.
if we started this like now, dog.
Yeah. So my plan was I was going to stream TCG for like 2 hours beforehand and then do it.
Oh.
I think this would have been that would have been killer. Okay.
All right,
Oh.
here we go. Rapid Ash,
Ditto.
Ditto.
Whoa, look at all these rare
Voltorb,
cards.
Oh, is this a
Articuno,
god pack? Jigglypuff.
Jigglypuff, Electrode, Lickitung, Starmie,
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Tentacruel.
Temporal, Kabutops.
Kabutops? Oh, I see something. I see something.
Oh.
Wait, how rare is that? The gold energy.
That's the same gold card. They're about $10. Beedrill.
Ooh,
Already have
Another
that.
Dragonair.
Leftover?
Leftovers.
Jolteon?
Jolteon. Metapod.
the Metapod in the god
Dodrio,
pack.
and a Grimer.
Okay.
Flareon.
Only good
Yo,
thing was
That was awful. Let's not do that ever again.
Okay, why are you shitting on my ideas?
Yeah, why are you shitting on my friend's ideas?
I'm just kidding.
No, chat. Chat. Drop a 1 in chat if you think he's kidding. Drop a 2 in chat if you think he's not. Well, I don't
Better
know
get
if you're joking
exposed.
or not now.
What do you think that mount
That
do?
Chansey art is sick. I love that Chansey art.
Oh, that is actually sick. Wait, we got a 12? We got a 21 in chat?
Ugh.
It sounds like you're not having a fun time here.
It's great, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting with bated breath for the inevitable Charizard pull.
Charizard. That's
Oh, that's
actually
cool.
a sick Ninetales art.
That is.
looks- Hold on. Can we get a close up? We're gonna focus.
No.
Okay.
Oh.
Yo, what those tails do?
Oh, okay. Rips
Creig
card
just ruined it.
immediately. Rips card. You ruined the mood. You ruined the Ninetales mood. I can't wait to put this in clips of this VOD into a 9-hour thesis video on why buying cards from Walmart is actually goated.
I'll explain the whole plot of One Piece while this is going on.
So what's everyone's favorite Pokemon episode?
I like the Porygon one
where,
that sent
yeah, I was gonna
thousands
say
of
the one that
Japanese
gave
people into seizures.
seizures.
Oh, mine was when Brock brought out the donuts.
Oh, his infamous jelly donuts.
Yes, infamous jelly donuts.
Those always look so good as a kid, but I never could find any jelly donuts that look like that.
Yeah, it's like, where do they get jelly donuts like that?
Tim Hortons discontinued their Jolly Donuts because they didn't want Brooke smoke.
Yeah, Tim Hortons was getting too much business from their jelly donuts after the Barack episode, so they had to pull it.
Okay, just more dog shit.
No, dude. Was that a reverse hollow Kakuna?
No, that was a Pikachu. Oh, Nidoking?
Oh,
Ooh,
that's
that's actually a
cool.
nice
That's
one.
cool.
I can't wait to scan all these cards into my favorite card collecting app. It'll take
Yeah,
me...
that's gonna be the most exciting part of the whole stream.
Yeah. Just scanning
Guys, so
every...
I know you guys are enjoying the first half of the pack opening, but actually the second half is going to happen on the Pokemon TCG app.
Yeah. Imagine.
Oh my fucking god. We
Wait,
should have left Kadabra banned, bro. I'm sick of pulling that fucking card.
we've only pulled it like 10 times.
You guys think it's physically possible to eat 50,000 calories a day without making yourself throw up?
50,000?
Yeah, like this guy's saying that he's eating 50,000 calories a day.
Who said that?
Eric, what was his name? Let me go look at his YouTube channel. Eric the Electric.
What is he, 700 pounds?
No, bro, he's as thin as a twig.
50,000 is... I mean...
It depends on your metabolism.
Bro, you gotta take like 10 dumps a day to make it through that.
No, dude, like for example, watching him eat 40,000 calories of cinnamon toast crunch cereal. There's no
Here's the
way that
thing,
after
like,
this-
I
after this
guess
is
if
done,
I
he
guess
has
if
to
his
eat-
regular diet is like chugging maple syrup or something, I don't know.
Dude, I want Craig. Me and you should do the fucking 60,000 calories of eggnog challenge.
I actually don't like eggnog. This would be akin to torture for me.
My fingers have stopped working.
You're gonna get to work Monday and still have like ghost fingers of opening the packs.
I'm
You're
gonna
just gonna be twitching all day.
It's gonna be like, I need to open a pack.
I need my fix.
Yeah. This is like heroin. I'll be like, pack.
This is like a gambling addiction to you.
Unironically, it is. Or actually, it is.
It is, yeah.
Can you make a Pokemon gambling machine, someone?
Somehow I feel like Nintendo wouldn't wouldn't be down for that.
I think they would.
Yeah, I think
They
they would.
literally they removed gambling from the in-game. Like you can't even play the slot machines anymore.
That's fucking
Wait,
bullshit.
that's...
They're just stopping people from getting money because they want it themselves. They're stopping you from getting generational freedom.
True.
Exactly, because everybody knows the best way to attain wealth is through gambling.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing this. You think I'm joking? I put my whole life savings into this stream. Guys, I'm actually a broke. When I talked to Cole, he was like, "Yeah, that's a power play," and I said, "Yeah, I have good savings, but no, I'm ruined.
I'm ruined.
I'm ruined, guys.
Guys, we really need donations.
Guys, I need
Guys, we
$50,000
have not got
a
a
month."
Charizard yet, and the packs are looking a little thin, bro. We definitely need something.
Here's the thing, chat. This content is priceless. You couldn't pay, no matter what sum you paid, it couldn't equal the amount of content that we're producing for you
Okay,
guys
what
right
did
now.
Alinity say? What did Alinity say? Whatever her name was. It's just $5 a month.
Oh
like-
yeah, she's like, it's just $5. If you can't afford $5, get to work. Why are you watching this stream?
Yeah.
And Pokemon said the broke boys
If
can't
you-
afford a cookies.
Yeah. If you just broke.
Oh my fucking god!
I know.
dude.
Look, we
We're
got
gonna
him
have a fucking-
again.
We're gonna have a fucking
We got him
playset of Blastoise.
Guys,
got him
wait.
again. Guys,
Okay,
we.
wait.
He's
Because-
back!
No. Guys, no, guys. Because of Mara, hey, wait. We need to restart. Wait. Can we add the top card back? We need to farm this. Okay. Here, add top card back. We're gonna act. Yeah. So go through the slow. I got this.
Oh,
Caterpie, Magnemite.
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 Okay.
Okay.
Eevee.
Okay. Eevee.
Eevee.
Okay.
Alright.
Don't
Fossil.
Okay.
Don't bust up.
Okay.
Oh,
Executor.
execute.
Okay.
Executor. That's a good one.
Wait,
Oh,
guys, wait.
we got
wait,
the
wait, wait.
Graveler.
Guys.
What?
If there's
What?
a Marowak in this pack, I think we need to go wild.
Wait, if there's
Bro,
if
could
there's
you
one in the
imagine if
wait.
there was a Marowak in this pack? I can't. Like, there's no way.
Wait.
I cannot fucking believe that there's a Marowak in this pack.
Wait,
If there's a Marowak in this pack, I will literally go donate all my life savings to more packs.
if there
Okay,
is
if there's
for
a
the stream.
Marowak in this pack, we have to rip the card behind it. The card right behind the Marowak.
Yes. Yes.
just rip it in half.
Yeah, just rip the card right behind the Marowak in half.
On stream. Right now.
Oh my
If there
god.
is one.
fucking
Oh, no
shit.
way! No
Holy
way!
shit.
No way! No way! We got a Marowak!
Oh
We
shit.
just pulled a Marowak!
Oh shit.
Okay, what's behind it?
What's behind it?
Oh, whatever. What the
Oh,
fuck is this,
bro.
dude?
Oh dude.
Get him
That
out
kind
of
of ruined the
here.
mood. That
Damn.
kind of ruined the mood.
Can we have a Marowak
that's it.
file? Can we have a Marowak counter?
Wait. Wait, give me a second.
How have we pulled so many Blastoise and like none of the other ones like Zapdos, Articuno, Moltres?
We're at the point where we have a Blastoise per person in the stream.
I don't have a lighter, guys. I thought I had a lighter around here. I wanted to see if Blastoise was really effective against fire types. Garbage. Blastoise, I thought it was going to be like a one card thing where I get him once and I'll be like, oh, Pog. Oh, sick. I got him. And then, but no, I've got him 3.
Yeah, honestly, the hype died down. Now we just hate Blastoise.
Yeah. Like, even if I get something good, it'll be worth nothing to me.
Blastoise kind of killed the mood.
Yeah. Was my favorite Pokemon. Now I think Charizard.
Alright, guys, can we get some hype in the chat for Charizard Secret Rare?
Give us a God Pack. Give us a Charizard God Pack. And we report in. Put that in the collection.
What'd that mouth do, though?
The Bellsprout.
Yeah. Okay, dude.
Mr. Mime.
Mr. Mime.
The
Ooh.
cheapest art rare in the set.
Golem Fuller.
Actually, that revitalized me, getting that Mr. Mime and Golem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because it's
Wow.
finally something that's not a repeat. This pack's gonna be dog, yeah. I should have paid that company to scan all these packs.
It's like $3,000 per pack.
Yeah, it would have been worth it.
Give us a fucking Charizard, man. I'm starting to get pissed off.
Yeah.
If we get a Charizard, I will play Brick Bronze all night
And stream it on your channel?
and stream it on my channel.
Oh!
The KOOPAKREW
The KOOPAKREW?
is about to be well fed tonight.
Actual. What the fuck?
What?
Like nothing.
How crazy would it be if the last pack you opened was the Charizard pack?
With my, like, it'll be fucking Blastoise again.
When we get to the last 10 packs, we have to do a mega pack to end it off.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we can clip it for the content.
We definitely that Marowak part is definitely getting clipped. That was
Oh,
pure
yeah.
comedic genius.
Yeah. Every single moment in this stream is gonna get clipped. It's just gonna be...
We're just gonna come out with like 200 clips of the stream.
Yeah. It'll be a clip a day.
The most beat dead horse of all time.
It's gonna be worse than the Mr. Beast drama, bro. Dude, I've seen like so many titles being like, he's finally finished. And like the next one is like, it's final. It's done.
It's done.
Bro, they can't even take out Logan Paul, and he did the Suicide Forest.
Yeah. Plus, like, Crypto Zoo.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Boogie also did a crypto scam and faked cancer, and
and
he's
fake
still
cancer, and he's still
chilling.
he's still making
Wood.
bank on the locale live.
Yeah, I know. We have one of the pay pigs here right now.
me.
Wait, you're one too?
Yeah.
Ah.
I'm actually a king, which is $500 a month.
Genuinely, I can believe that from how much you watch it. You're just like, look how live's on. Look, I can't do anything.
Okay, I wasn't gonna say it, but locale live is on right now. We need to stop the stream.
No, we're so close.
What can we do to liven up the stream, guys? Like, what's a funny bit we
Do we
can
have
do?
two Subway surfers?
Yeah, can we get like a couple Subway Surfers on the stream?
A couple Subway Surfers. Oh yeah, let me get rid of this stack of
Guys,
cards.
I might. I think it's time for me to DoorDash McDonald's, guys. I've been watching food videos on the side for too long. It's getting to me. I feel like I'm turning like Schrodinger's cat, but with McDonald's. If you watch
are you gonna get the
hungry. The
are you gonna
chicken
get
Big
the
Mac?
yeah, the Kaisenet chicken Big Mac? Actually, I don't think that we have that here.
Oh my god, we could end the stream with a shitty food review.
Oh,
Actually, would be good. There's so many cards. There's too many cards.
on the bright side, you have enough materials to to survive the winter.
Do you know like the people
Just throw
that
it into
like?
the furnace.
Do you know the people that like cut up Pokemon cards and make them like 3D?
No? What?
Like they'll do like a 3D effect. Like they'll cut up cards.
I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. But now that you mention it, yeah, you should cut up all your cards. Wouldn't that be epic?
If I get like 5 more Blastoise, I'd be tempted to.
We're getting close to the end here.
Yeah. Should I? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That'll be for the last pack. And then it'll all be dog shit.
Yeah, probably.
We've been going at this for almost like 2 hours now.
And we've got what, like maybe 2 or 3 viral clips?
Maybe.
Trust me, man, this is gonna hit it big.
I'm just waiting for the mountain of cards to just calm down.
Oh!
Wait!
Oh!
Oh my god.
Dude,
No
look at
way!
him. Look at him, dude.
Is that another Marowak?
Dude, actually insane. At
What
this
is
point,
this luck?
I should actually just get all of them a grade.
Guys, chat, you were looking at the luckiest man alive.
We need to see if he gets a Charizard first.
Okay, if you want to be like that. Watch, the last like 4 packs will have a Charizard in each one.
Are you taking them out in any order, or were they all like mixed up already?
They were all like mixed up. So like the beginning ones, those were.
Oh my
is that a Venusaur?
fucking god. Yes,
Secret
it
rare?
is, dude.
Yeah, another one.
What is going on, dude?
Okay,
Wait.
so
I have never seen this.
what I'm getting
He
from
has-
this is that the Charizard it's gotta be rarer than the other
No,
two,
dude,
right?
this is no. This is actually, this could be some sort of error, dude. The only reason I say this is because there are so many different secret rares in the set, other than Blastoise, Venusaur, and Charizard, and he has not seen any other one except Blastoise and Venusaur.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we can't complain. Like that's like $300 worth of cards in each of those piles.
Dead. Please give me
I mean,
all the
do you
card
plan on
codes.
selling this stuff?
No, I plan on keeping it locked up, hidden away.
With these 4 Venusaurs.
I plan on once becoming a very big streamer to auctioning them off.
Yeah, like in 10 years, people will be like, bro, the legendary 151 pack opening that changed Ghost's career for forever. Like, you're gonna be auctioning off those Blastoises for like $10 million.
Yeah. It'll be like this guy was making Steam Deck reviews and then he switched to doing Pokemon card openings. And then
The
his
hardest
life
switch
just
up of
turned
all
around.
time.
I got a comment today from a guy that was like, I hate channels like this where they say one thing and then it doesn't end up and it gives false hope to people that are wanting to play a game. Yeah, like saying
What's
that.
he referring to?
My Steam Deck video on Daisy, where when I played it, the controls were fine. I had no issues with them. But then he comments on a video that's probably a year. No. Yeah, probably a year at this point. Year old. Saying that he hates YouTubers that make content that makes it seem like the game is good when I actually play a game for several hours. When I did those videos. I gotta clean off my desk in a second. Tyler, are you scanning all these codes?
Dude, we need one fucking Charizard, dog.
Oh, look! I haven't gotten this guy before. Look.
That's probably my favorite art so far. I love that art.
If it wasn't for the full arts, I probably would not open up cards.
If it wasn't for the cards worth money, I probably wouldn't open up cards. That's what you just fucking said.
No, because I like seeing the nice artwork. I like seeing the nice artwork. I don't care about the money.
Give us a Charizard, dog.
Okay, I may have to change the video. I spent $1,500 on Pokemon 151 and did not get Charizard. I did not get him.
I spent $1,500 on 151 packs, and all I got was these 10 Blastoises.
All I got was these 70 Blastoises. Give us a God pack. That'd be a cool way to end.
Yeah. It'd be Blastoise.
The Blastoise God pack.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind because
3 Blastoise secret rares.
I wouldn't mind because I actually like the Squirtle and War Turtle art.
You know what they gotta do? Pokemon 151 doesn't really appeal to me because I was born after that generation. But I did grow up playing Gen 2. So I think what they should do is Pokemon 251 next, where it's only Gen 2 and it's just pandering specifically to me and like 5 other people. Like, I can't wait for the Stantler secret rare, bro.
I am having a blast opening packs, Jack. It's my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing.
Okay, you must be getting near the end, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're close. We got like 15.
I don't even think it's that many. Oh,
Nice.
oh,
That's actually a cool.
actually
Oh.
really good.
Dude,
Let's go.
if we can get
Wait,
the
did you
Squirtle
get? Is there a
Studio,
Squirtle one of that?
Yeah, there's a Squirtle one.
There's. That's what
Did
the
you
God
get it?
pack is, Craig. That's what the God pack is. It
Oh,
has
that's
all
right,
of them
right,
in there.
right. Okay. Cool. I thought you meant like the 3 final forms of each starter, but you meant like the 3 forms of a single starter.
No. Dogs are back. So we have.
Oh no, we have quite a few. We have like
Yeah.
20. Me and
I'm
Craig
telling you,
going
man.
over 150 packs, dog.
If we end off with like a mega pack of 10 and we actually get the Charizard in the last 10, that would be the most prime content of all time.
Yeah.
We have to set it up. We got to hope it happens. We got to clip it.
Wait. I think that was actually good.
Yeah, wait.
Oh, okay, never mind. I saw like.
Moltres?
What?
Moltres is cool. Have you gotten
Oh,
that?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
I thought the Poliwhirl was gonna be actually something good because it kind of looked like it was gonna be. Oh, we
We already got that one,
Yeah, we
too.
already got one of them.
I'm getting scared, guys. There's gotta be that Charizard. It's in there somewhere.
Honestly, at this rate, actually, I was gonna say I would want the Squirtle more at this point just to finish the set. Oh!
Oh! Holy shit! Holy shit!
Fuck! Holy fuck!
No way!
Dude. Oh. Oh.
And the reverse holo helix.
And the reverse hollow Ponyta.
Okay, that makes up for it. We don't even need Charizard. We got Marowak.
We've got 10 of them.
Okay, hold on. I'll be back in a sec. Hopefully you don't pull Charizard.
That
Oh! Haven't got that one. Oh my god. Oh, Pikachu.
Oh, that's a sick one.
That is. I can't believe Creig is in here to see it. Oh, fuck.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh my
fuck.
god, Craig missed another
Oh,
Marowak,
fuck.
dog.
Dude.
All right, what did I miss? How many Charizards?
You missed a Marowak, dude. See? And
No.
also we got a Pikachu, which I don't know how good that card looks.
That looks cool.
Looks kind of dog, but
I can't believe I missed the Marowak.
yeah. Kinda disappointing.
Come on, give us a fucking Charmizard.
Are those all the packs left?
No, there's 10 in the box.
Okay, okay. Also,
Put it
I
down,
was just
Charizard.
looking.
No.
I was looking at that War Total card there.
Yeah.
Spinning attack. That is not a.
Okay,
It's
dude.
the best Pokemon move.
Yeah, that is the best Pokemon move.
What is that? Like a mistranslation?
No.
I don't get this.
Oh god. Oh my
Marowak!
god! Oh my fucking god! I'm gonna fucking come, dude.
All right,
What?
guys, we need to start making the Marowak pile. Like, we actually have gotten 10 at this point. Mr. Mime?
Alright.
Okay, guys.
All right, clean up. We're about to get the Mega God Pack in the stream. It's the final 10 packs.
Final 10. My fingers. My fingers.
Yeah, are you ready to go and stream TCG Card Shop after this?
No.
Your fingers have just gone completely numb. Also, what if I told you that I saw signs that all these cards are fake?
I guess I'm going to have to game end myself tonight.
I can already feel the Charizard is in that pile right there. I can already feel it.
I'm just taking the bottom.
Alright, guys, do we want to end with a? Do you want to end this stream with a shitty food review?
I'd do that. I'd be
Yeah.
down.
Alright, let me go grab food. I'll be back. If you guys pull a Charizard, send me a Discord message. Craig, if there's a Marowak, I expect a screenshot. I'll be back.
Okay.
What am I doing? Oh god.
I'm glad I could be here for the stream though.
I'm,
I think we really did something special here.
I'm glad that you decided to hop in.
Yeah, man. Anything to help you out with your content grind.
Thank you. You know that I'm trying to become big time pack opener. Damn, these packs suck. Coming from Arcanex, who hasn't streamed in months, and I've been telling him that he should stream, and I'd sub to him. I'd
Yeah.
Give him.
Isn't it crazy how this guy's in chat telling us that our pack sucked, the content sucks. Meanwhile, he's not even putting out his own content.
Yeah. Like if he was putting out his own content, it would be another story. But he's just sitting back, relaxing.
Yeah, how about you spend $3,000 on packs, buddy?
Yeah,
See how far you get.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody who's joined the chat so far, we've absolutely shat on. This is like the most unwelcoming stream of all time.
What do you mean? We gotta keep these gens in place.
Oh. Oh, he's streaming this on cams.
Wait. There's an avalanche of just pack wrappers happening right now.
Can you get a shot of all the pack wrappers at the end of the stream, by the way? Like just the absolute mountain.
Should I just pull all the ones that I throw in a bag?
Yeah.
Two, three. Oh wait. Did I? Oh, okay. Okay, Craig. It's the last pack. Remember that one guy that we
Charizard
watched the
is
YouTube?
in there. The
Yo.
Charizard is literally in there.
I gotta spank it. I gotta rub it. I gotta tease it a bit.
Get a little foreplay.
Yeah, a little bit of foreplay.
Show him a good time.
Okay, this pack is weighted.
Can we get some ones in the chat if you guys believe that we're about to get a Charizard right here? Some ones in the chat.
I'm gonna lie. Wait. Okay.
Alright, this guy's spamming. Where are the mods?
He is a mod.
He's a mod!
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do when the mods themselves are the ones causing the chaos?
I don't know.
We
Okay.
need to drain the swamp.
Are we ready? Need a ran?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Golem.
Go slow. Go slow. Go slow.
Raichu. Butterfree.
Grimace. It's Grimace.
Grimace. Oh, Vaporeon.
Oh,
Electrode.
Boom Boom Chain.
Boom Boom Chain. Venerant. Vileplume.
I think I see something.
Tangle. Oh!
Oh! Oh! The Mr. Mime full art rare.
Chansey. Nidoran.
Come on, guys. I feel it.
Oh, Mr. Mime again. Hunter.
I feel it.
Wait. Oh my
I'm
god,
feeling it.
wait.
What?
I think I got the card that I wanted.
What, this? Ninetales?
No, Ninetales. It's coming up. Coughing.
Ninetales? Coughing?
Oh, Zapdos!
Zapdos EX! Oh!
This wasn't really the card I was looking for, but I'll take it. Oh! Oh!
Wait,
Screenshot it. Send it to Cole. It's not the card, though.
that's not this. That's not
Nah,
the good one.
it's not the full art. Unless...
But I can feel it. It's there.
Psyduck. Oh, Caterpie!
Oh! The Caterpie! Full art!
Electrode? Slowpoke. Dragonite. Mr. Mime. Oh!
Oh, that's awesome.
Bulbasaur! Wait, Venusaur?
Oh, wait, what?
Wait, the last
What?
one.
It's a god pack. It's a god pack. You actually got a god pack.
The last one.
No way.
The genuine last pack was a god pack.
That's crazy.
That is nuts.
You couldn't script that content if you tried.
Like, it's a good thing that I did pull like 3 cards.
That's actually insane.
Holy fuck! It only.
The last pack was a god pack.
Yeah, the very.
It's because
last
the
pack.
energy in the stream.
The energy of the stream.
Yeah, Arcanex, we need to buy more. That's the most logical thing you've said in the chat so far.
Okay, let me clean this all up. Let me pull these.
I'm gonna message Cole.
Let me pull these. Someone clip it. Someone clip it. Okay, let me clean up all this and then I can throw.
Is this crazy or what, chat? We got a god pack on the stream. Our resident Pokemon TCG expert earlier said that's what, like 1 in 4,000? Don't quote me on
I
that.
thought he said
I
1
literally
in
don't know anything
10,000.
about this. Oh, it's like 1 in 100 million, right?
Do you want to see how many cards we ended up with?
Sure.
Total? Actually, let me do this.
Look at all that trash. Do you know how much you contributed to global warming just now? I'm pretty sure the global temperature just went up like 0.2 degrees.
Wait. It's hard to see the amount. Oh my god.
The sheer magnitude of all these packs
Yeah.
can't be put on display. It's incomprehensible by the human mind.
I gotta just do this. I just gotta wipe that off the table. Holy fuck, so many fucking packs. Again. We got that many cards.
Wow. Oh. Oh. I was like, that doesn't seem like that much.
These are all the normal ones too.
Yeah, if you added all the Marowaks you got, that would double.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to? Is Cole coming back?
He's out getting food.
I don't know if I'm gonna sleeve stream it.
Yeah. Actually, sleeve every card here on screen right now. Sleeve all the commons.
I don't have all those sleeves. Give me like 2 seconds to.
All right, sleeve shopping stream and then sleeving stream.
Just give me like 2 seconds while I try and pick all this up.
I don't know, guys. We didn't get a Charizard, but I would consider this a great success. We got something more important, which is the friends along the way. The God Pack was pretty cool, too. So chat, I want to hear from you guys. What did you guys think about the polls?
They were dog shit. They were dog
Was
shit.
Was it dub polls or what?
Oh my god.
And I already know Arcanex is gonna come in here talking some absolute skullduggery in the chat. No Char L.
Do they have
Yeah, that's actually really surprising. I almost don't believe that the Charizard rates are the same as the other. Like, there's no way. There's gotta be a reason why it's so much more expensive.
yeah. Like I understand that it's because Charizard's like very popular, but the polls. Because I only got one.
On the pack he fondled.
Okay. These are all the packs in one bag. One normal grocery store size bag. Could make a
You should
fucking
burn it.
frisbee. Burn it. Throw it in my neighbor's yard. So this is one big pile of dog shit. Okay. I need to actually open this up before I show it. I may have to adjust the camera too.
So,
Oh, wait, no, I can't. Wait, actually.
did you pull a Tangela secret rare? Did you get that one?
Yeah. Let me. Okay. Time to put everything in here. Yeah.
I feel like you got a good portion of the secret illustration rares. It's just weird. Did you get a Charmeleon? Either?
I got a Charmander.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When I was talking to someone earlier, I'm not gonna say their name. They said that they were only missing the Zapdos.
So you got that one.
Yeah. On God, if I got two of them, I would send it to him.
How many packs did he open? Jeez.
I don't know how many he opened. He did
So
say
that Zapdos one ungraded is like $50. It looks like. But if it's a 10, it's worth 160. Although the way you've been handling them, I'm sure it's not a 10.
Oh, okay, dude. You're the one telling me that I needed to eat barbecue wings before before opening all the packs.
Wow, you really fell for the oldest trick in the book, huh?
Yeah. Eat the good sticky barbecue wings.
And when I told you that you should claw grip all the cards,
Yeah.
do
Holy,
you believe me?
dude, did we get
So check it
Charizard?
out.
No.
We literally did not get a Charizard, but
We got
the
a
last pack we got was a God pack with Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It's
Yeah, it
on
was.
stream.
Yeah, it's on stream.
That's fucking nuts, dude.
The
Hey,
literal
Trunkynugget.
last pack. It's like you couldn't even script it.
And now I am sleeping. Okay, guys, do I get more to try and get the
No, babe.
Charizard? No? Okay.
Carry on.
So, whatever box you just bought,
Yeah.
you should buy like 10 more.
More. Here's the thing, I
Wait,
bought
you
like
actually got a god pack? That's so sick.
yeah.
Yes.
Actually, it was
So,
like very last pack too.
It was the
My
literal
food
last
review?
pack on the stream.
My food review has turned into a food challenge.
So what did you order?
Yeah, what did you order?
So I they didn't have the chicken Big Mac,
Yeah.
so I had gotten a double Big Mac instead.
What about
And
the big arch?
on the double Big Mac, there's supposed to be cheese. And I'm
Yeah.
taking a look because I always check to make sure it's made right. But there wasn't cheese. So I
They
went
probably
inside.
ran out and just didn't care.
When I went inside, I was like, "Hey guys, there's supposed to be cheese on this." The manager's like, "Oh shit, you're right. 1 sec." I'm like, "Dude, just put a piece of cheese on it."
They got to
He
remake the
comes
whole
back
thing.
out. He brings me another one, dog.
And he didn't take
Cool.
yours?
No. So I got two
See,
double Big Macs.
The thing is, when I worked at McDonald's, I remember what they did was if somebody complained, they would take their order and remake it, but they would just throw the order out that was wrong. And that always felt so, like, crazy to me.
Oh, you got the Zapdos? That's sick.
Yeah, I got the Zapdos. I thought it was the Squirtle at first because I saw like the corner and I was like, "Oh, is that like beach?"
Okay, you're not gonna
Oh,
come in the
fuck.
chat and hate on the big arch, dude. You guys must be
Ooh,
stronger
Power.
than me, too, because I would, like, even if you love
Give me
cheese, I can't imagine going to complain about no cheese. Like, that's not... I would
Well, I
feel
didn't
like
complain.
so I would
I
feel
just went
so
in.
like Karen-like to do that.
No, I just went in. I was like, "Hey, can you guys just throw a piece of cheese on this?" Like I didn't ask for a refund.
I mean, hey,
You should have.
you got a lot out of it. You got like almost a pound of meat from those.
After I finished sleeping on
You
these
probably
cards,
got $1,000 worth of cards.
I did.
Well, you actually got a God pack, right?
Yeah.
That's like 300.
Well, which one's rarer, the final evolution or the first evolution for the secret rare? Like, would the Bulbasaur be rarer or the Venusaur?
Venusaur.
Because it seems like we got a lot of Venusaur and Blastoise.
Yeah, we got a lot of third evolution. I don't know where I should put these. The real question is, do I buy the Squirtle?
Buy
I'm
it.
so sad that I didn't get to see the God pack.
I thought you got a Squirtle.
No, I got the War Turtle.
Oh,
War
that
Turtle.
sucks.
And then do I just buy the Charizard and Charmeleon? Or do I risk it all
Dude,
over?
you might as well just...
Keep unboxing?
Yeah, just buy another box. You'll probably get it in there. There's no reason to go and buy it. Plus, you'll get so much more content out of it. Think.
I mean, you could also trade, your 3 other Blastoise and Venusaurs.
Do you think somebody would do that
Yeah,
trade?
do you think someone would do that?
I mean, they're like $80 cards.
but the Charizard is like a step above.
Yeah.
He's like 180.
Yo, what is that Cinderace card?
Oh yeah, Cinderace.
Terrestrialized.
I should
That thing's
actually.
crazy.
One sec. I go get my girlfriend's milk.
Huh?
Whoa.
I know that sounds awful, but one sec.
All right,
wanna-
somebody clip that.
Yeah, someone clip that. I want to try and have like a full page of like the art ones, or like keep like all the art ones to like the same page.
What is your favorite Pokemon that you pulled here today?
I'll be honest, probably Blastoise, and because I've always Zapdos is another one. Zapdos
Yeah, that one
and
was
Blastoise.
awesome.
They're both.
I personally would do. I think Poliwhirl was my favorite art.
All Poliwhirl.
So good. It's right there.
All
It's
the
so
art.
shiny.
All the art's like
It's really
really
good art.
good.
I couldn't imagine being that good at art. I don't get it.
Oh god. I don't think I pulled any of like these cards out from what I got.
I thought we have been responding to chat. Yeah, we can see them. We can see the messages. Not everything you say, like you're not the main character, bro. Not everything you say
Yeah.
is some boundless wisdom.
I actually disagree with that. I value everything of Tyler's points, except for when he makes like a bad call, or a bad opinion, or a bad suggestion.
You are going to lose a viewer. But you're a mod. You got to make sure that things stay in order.
Yeah, you're a mod. You're my.
Are you
most
saying that
loyal
you
mod.
quit? I'm sure there's tons of
just
people
say-
who would take your place.
I can name one. Zach.
All right. On to the second double Big Mac.
How much sauce did they put on it is the real question.
The first one, not that much.
The second one, they just drenched it.
Oh no. Wait,
It is policy though, is it not? Like I know that you asked for them to just put a slice on it, but like
that Gulpin
Isn't
card
it-
is sick.
Which one? This
That
one?
Gulpin card. Yeah.
I actually got that today.
so this crazy mod in the chat is saying he's unhinged and he's spamming.
If only like streamed.
Mhm.
Schizophrenic mod goes crazy. Somebody clip that.
I'm just trying to open up my Pokemon cards, dude. Or put them in this sleeves. I just want to fill this entire binder up with dog shit cards someday. Okay. I think that's gonna be the end of the stream.
No.
What do you want? What do you want from me?
We need to keep going.
I don't have any
I
more
don't
cars.
see any Marowaks in that binder.
Buy another box right now.
No. Guys, I'm giving away one of these on Twitter every single day. One a
The
day.
content doesn't have to end.
I'm giving away one of these code cards, one a day.
Okay, here's the problem: is you showed like most of them on the stream already.
I'm gonna give away one of these code cards, one a day.
All right, guys, we're having a code card giveaway. If you leave a like and subscribe, you could be one lucky winner of one of these code cards.
Yeah. And you gotta say, out of the however many there are, you gotta say the specific
Jeez.
number, and if someone takes it already, then you're fucked.
What if you rolled up to a tournament and this was your deck?
Actually, just get them sleeved. And like the ones that have a back to them, so they can't even see like the this part.
Mm. I'm gonna be honest, guys.
What?
The second one was a little tough to get down.
I mean,
Too moist or not moist enough?
one of the things that sucks about McDonald's is it's like
It's more like it's more or less the quality of the burger, more of 4,600 calories in Big Mac burgers in 5 minutes.
you're already 10% of the way there to hitting that 50K, the elusive 50K in a day. And the thing that sucks that I was gonna say is like, dude, I don't know if you've ever tried it, but McDonald's leftovers literally is like the worst possible. It's like the opposite of hitting different. It hits so wrong.
I feel like McDonald's just doesn't age well.
Like if you ever have a McChicken or something that you leave overnight in the fridge and you get it the next day, it's literally like inedible.
No, babe. Do you want fries?
Um,
Oh Jesus!
I think Taco Bell is like the one place where
this
I
is
can
an awful
eat it
idea. No,
the next
that
day,
was-
or like
I am
cold at
going
night.
to be sick.
Taco Bell, I would be fine with.
Yeah, like
That
a
was an
taco.
awful experience.
I've had a lot of Little Caesars like in the middle of the night, cold kind of.
That
But
fucking
But
slaps though.
that's different. That's like pizza, or like cheesy bread.
It's still fast food.
Yeah,
Are
but
you
that's
playing Brick Bronze?
Yeah, let's hop on and get some brick bronze.
Okay. Craig, do you know there's a gambling where you can pay Robux to spin a fucking wheel and get a Pokemon?
Yes.
wait. I'm gonna instrument actually make food.
All right, dog.
Oh,
All
Bye
right.
bye
really?
stream.
Yeah. Bye stream. Thank you for
Guys,
watching.
it was a good stream.
Tyler,
Let's get
Jack.
all the dubs in the chat. Let's get a like and a subscribe for these polls. Man, all the Marowaks were crazy, let me tell you. I won't even be able to sleep tonight thinking about all
Because
these
the
Marowaks. So like I said, let's get a like and subscribe. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you guys. I'm gonna burn all
Dude,
these
why are
cards,
the
by the
sprites
way.
so